Well, I'm picking a hell of a time to do this because the Celtics' next game is against the Nets. But oh well, let's risk the curse. The Celtics have won 3 in a row. Yeah, last night was against the Rockets, but so what? Let me have this. Jayson Tatum's been great for 4 games in a row. Last night against the Rockets, he was struggling from three, but he also had 9 trips to the free throw line. This is my favorite Jayson Tatum. When he realizes that he's 6'8" and really athletic, and if he just drives inside, he's going to get fouled. Now, in the 3 games before the Houston game, Tatum was great from three, like this one in OKC. And I am a fan of the action going on this play. So we have Cantor and Tatum starting on opposite sides of the free throw line. And Cantor acts like he's going to set a screen for Marcus Smart, but what he's actually going to do is go the other way and set a screen on Dort. And as that's happening, Tatum's flashing out to the three-point line. And there you go. I love it. As for Jaylen, well, he was gone for 7 or 8 games or whatever it was. It felt like 30 games, I swear to you. And when Jaylen made the shot, I felt some real excitement for the Celtics, which is kind of frightening. The other thing that's been going on is that Schroeder has started to look like a reliable third option. I mean, he was the second option when Jaylen was out. But still, man, this team, they go through stretches with their offense where they're struggling to find anything. And I don't know if it's fair to Schroeder to expect him to be awesome from three, but I do think we can expect more of him just beating his guy off the dribble. And the defense keeps on creeping up. I mean, the Raptors had a really difficult time scoring in this game. And I would like to give a shout out to Al Horford, who defensively has still been pretty damn rock solid, man. I mean, here he just closes out to Svi. And it's not like every big guy can just do it that easily. Now, speaking of defense, the T-Wolves have been playing a lot of it, as they've won 4 games in a row here. Let's check out this sequence again. First off, there's 2 dudes on the ball. Vanderbilt, and it's Anthony Edwards. I'm assuming Brandon Ingram ran a screen here. The T-Wolves have been taking on more of an aggressive defense, stepping up on screens more often, that sort of stuff. Anyway, Anthony Edwards runs like mad to get over to Josh Hart. Jared Vanderbilt cuts off Hart from the basket. Then D'Lo's got to close out like crazy to Brandon Ingram. Then you got Jared Vanderbilt and Patrick Beverley, and then eventually Beverley gets into the passing lane. And then that leads to an easy basket the other way for D'Lo. Ever since they inserted Jared Vanderbilt and Patrick Beverley into the starting lineup, the T-Wolves have looked like a different team. You see, again, that aggressive defense they're taking on now, where it's 2 on Satoransky. And maybe he had Valanciunas dive into the rim. I mean, his only guy stopping him was D'Lo, but, they force it into a swing offense sort of thing rather than something at the basket. And Vanderbilt just has great anticipation. Here's some more of that aggressive defense versus the Kings. We have Towns and D'Lo trapping Halliburton. Might have had Rashawn Holmes on the roll. Vanderbilt would have been there to meet him. But anyway, he decides to go to Chimezie Metu, and Towns actually covered a lot of ground here to protect the rim. Because he's starting out here, and then you just watch Towns all the way down there to force the floater. And this one was really nice as well. So Towns is going to switch on to Desmond Bane. And right here, I mean, Bane can see Steven Adams diving to the rim. But I think Jared Vanderbilt's in the perfect spot to where it makes Bane hesitate for just a moment on whether he should throw it to Adams on the roll. And because Jared Vanderbilt is just built like this, he can do all that and then close out to the three-point shooter. Then you got Beverly, who's in the perfect spot to stop Jaren Jackson Jr. at the rim. And then on top of all of it, Vanderbilt blocks him anyway. Another team who has gotten their season and defense back on track is Atlanta. Remember earlier in the season I was talking about how opponents were shooting like 70% at the basket versus the Hawks? In their last 5 games, it's been 60%, which is much more manageable. And here's a very mean block by Clint Capella and Kelly Oubre. In other news, I cursed the Bulls with the DeRozan video because they could not score anything against Indiana last night. The Kings losing at home to Philly's backups is an embarrassment. Luke Walton had to go. Major roster change needed. Yeah, I agree with all that from KOC. This is a super random thing that I just thought of. But you know how people crap on like Rudy Gobert? For whatever might be his or not his fault in the playoffs? You think the Kings wouldn't love to have Rudy Gobert? A guy who guarantees them like a top 5 defense by himself? Alright, let's look at Kyle Kuzma's shirt. Isn't he like 6'9"? Like, who is this? Who's meant to wear this? Grizzlies had a team meeting after losing by 43 to the T-Wolves. Well, I guess that's the proper way to respond to a team meeting. Can we appreciate that I said all those nice things about Gobert, and then he's the guy who Jackson hits the three over? Hey, it was a good closeout. Cade Cunningham, a lot of people were saying I was a bust. That's something I took note of. Hey, not me. Pistons fans, if you want to collect receipts on people saying Cade was a bust, you're not going to find anything from me.